Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. Leaks for Firestorm, the upcoming Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5, took the player base by storm this week. Data mining of the game's latest patch revealed new information about vehicles, objectives, reinforcements, modes, armor, and more. Following the data mine leak, a tutorial video also leaked that confirmed much of this initial data leak and also provided some gameplay footage. Solo, duo, and squad modes will be matchmaking options. Each match starts with players parachuting from a plane. The starting circle is potentially marked at the start of the game. Helicopters are confirmed as drivable vehicles. There's amphibious vehicles. Landmark areas will have premium loot. Objectives and safes will reward you with rare loot vehicles and more. Weapons will come in 3 tiers, common, rare, and epic. Common weapons have default values for recoil, magazine size, and optics. Higher rarity variations will have improved stats and better optics, like scopes for sniper rifles. Each weapon class uses its own ammo. However, you are limited in the amount of ammo you can carry. Backpacks can be found to expand your inventory capacity. These also give you extra weapon slots. It looks like the maximum you can carry is 2 primary guns and 1 secondary gun. There are no classes in Firestorm, so all players have the same base stats, abilities, etc. Like many other Battle Royale titles, players are first knocked down to a bleed out state before dying. You can revive teammates before they bleed out, but if you fail to do so, then they're done for the match. There will be no reviving. However, while you're downed, you will be able to fire a sidearm. Overall, it looks like Firestorm is going to be a somewhat small departure from what players are used to from a Battle Royale title, just within the Battlefield universe with Battlefield weapons and destruction. How this mode will actually play at launch is still a very big question, as many nuances of a Battle Royale title can affect the performance or enjoyment. Battle Royale games are often made or broken by their balance and gameplay. Those are both areas Battlefield 5 has needed a lot of improvement. However, the fact that Criterion is making this game mode means that it might have a completely different approach to these things. A new map called Province was also data mined in the latest patch. It's set in France. The next live service content planned for Battlefield 5 is a map set in Greece, so it's unclear if Province is coming at a later date or will be an additional map added alongside the Greece one. 2 big patches have been deployed for Apex Legends. One is a balance update for the game. The other is a driver update by NVIDIA that addresses many crashes and performance issues. The Wingman and Peacekeeper have been slightly nerfed, and they're now less common loot. The Wingman now fires 1 shot per second. The Skull Piercer headshot damage multiplier was reduced from 2.5 to 2.25, and the gun's base hipfire spread is a bit wider and slower to recover. These changes should make the Wingman a little bit less spammable without making it overall less effective in capable hands. As for the Peacekeeper, basically the rechamber process is slightly longer. The shotgun bolt attachment reduces the rechamber speed, but its values have also been nerfed somewhat to be a bit less effective at each tier. The final balance change is that energy, weapons, and ammo should be slightly more common to make up for the Wingman and Peacekeeper being less common. At the start of Season 1, Respawn will be adjusting the hitboxes for Caustic, Pathfinder, and Gibraltar to make them less bulky. The patch will also include some minor nerfs to Lifeline, Wraith, Caustic, and Bangalore's abilities. As for the driver update released by NVIDIA, it should have fixed some crashes for players with NVIDIA hardware. It also includes game-ready drivers for Apex, which will slightly improve the overall performance. Speaking of NVIDIA, the GPU maker has launched a new game bundle program called RTX Triple Threat. Eligible RTX 2080 Ti and 2080 purchases will come with codes for Battlefield 5, Anthem, and Metro Exodus. Purchasing an RTX 2070 or 2060 or desktop laptop equipped with one will let you choose one of the 3 games. PUBG's original map, Gale, is getting remastered, sort of. An image of an updated map for the level recently leaked on Reddit, revealing new buildings placed throughout it. The changes were later confirmed by the developers as a work-in-progress project that aims, in part, to rebalance the map. It's unclear if further changes, like improved building assets, world geometry, or other facelift-style changes will be made. Gale could undoubtedly use a visual overhaul. Rainbow Six Siege's Operation Burnt Horizon is now live. The Australian-themed DLC comes complete with 2 new operators and a new map set in the Outback. Gridlock and Mozzie, so far, seem like solid additions to the game's roster. The new map Outback is visually stunning. How the map plays will take some time to really gauge, but overall it's a nice return to the more basic design of Siege's earlier maps. For players with limited storage space, you'll be happy to hear that Burnt Horizon Update reduces the overall size of the game. The patch itself is rather large at 55 gigabytes on PC and 35-ish on console, but once installed, it actually reduces the game's footprint by around 15 gigabytes. Counter-Strike Go also got a pretty big update this week. Valve have added a launch option that potentially reduces CPU memory usage by up to 40% when playing. This is a huge deal for players on lower-end PCs that are currently CPU bottlenecked. It might not make a ton of difference for players with more powerful hardware, but it will make alt-tabbing the game substantially smoother. Try it out by adding the following line of text to the launch options for your game in the Steam library. Valve also added some privacy features to the game. You can now mute the enemy team by default, as well as players not in your party via the game's menu. You can also hide player avatar images and change the names of players to randomly selected ones. BioWare confirmed a bug in Anthem that made the game's starting assault rifle more powerful than intended. Should players keep the rifle and use it after completing the campaign, they'll find it does a lot more damage than the enemy damage numbers indicate. The bug will be fixed in the game's next update. BioWare are also working to fix a bug that causes PlayStation 4 players to full crash their consoles. Playing Anthem for extended periods on PlayStation 4 seems to be causing the hardware to overheat, which automatically shuts down the console. So far, one affected player has reported that the shutdown has allegedly broke their console. Several issues causing the shutdown will be addressed in the next update. In other console news, a driveless Xbox One could be making its way to the market very soon. Codename Maverick, it's an Xbox One S with no drive bay, meaning all games for it must be downloaded from the Xbox Store. Rumors about the download-only Xbox have been buzzing for months, but a new report by Windows Central claims the console will go on pre-order in April. And although many gamers still buy physical copies of their game and load them in through the disk drive on their consoles, there's many who probably haven't bought physical copies of their games for quite some time now, and there's clearly a market for somebody who wants a console that doesn't need a disk drive and doesn't want to pay for the added disk drive. When it comes to playing media like Ultra HD Blu-rays, which the Xbox One S can do, that market is also quickly shrinking, with Samsung recently announcing that they're pulling out of the Ultra HD Blu-ray market. It almost certainly means that the days of Ultra HD Blu-rays and physical media are numbered. This new Xbox is just the first step into that world of diskless console systems. Microsoft might be announcing a PC port of Halo Master Chief Collection next week. The port will allegedly be announced during this month's Inside Xbox show, which Microsoft hosts every month. Other reports have an announcement scheduled for this year's E3. The Master Chief Collection includes the first 4 main Halo titles with reworked graphics. Halo 2 in particular received a pretty massive update. Having the Master Chief Collection on PC would be great. Halo fans that played the original 2 games when they came out on PC have been waiting since 2004 for a proper PC Halo title, so it's about time, and I'm one of them. The latest firmware update for the PlayStation 4 brings remote play to iOS devices. This basically lets you stream games from your PlayStation 4 to your iPhone. It was originally launched to work on the PlayStation Vita. Since Sony discontinued their handheld console, it makes sense that they'd remaster PlayStation 4 Remote Play app for more popular mobile devices. The crazy-looking game Death Stranding is slightly behind schedule according to the game's director Hideo Kojima. The game's story and design are complete at this point, but that leaves a lot of work left to do. With E3 coming in June, it's likely the game will get a pretty substantial reveal of some kind. The game's previous trailer and gameplay was massive and showed a ton of story and gameplay elements. In our final story this week, AMD have confirmed 3rd generation Ryzen Threadripper CPUs will be launching late this year. Before that though, customers can expect a new Ryzen APU in their spring, followed by standard desktop Ryzen 3 CPUs in the summer. The new Threadripper CPUs will likely launch a few months later in Q4. These third-generation processors are a highly anticipated refresh of AMD's existing and wildly popular Ryzen processors. The first-generation processor caused a considerable stir back in 2017 when they first launched. They were the first affordable, consumer-grade CPUs featuring more than 6 cores with performance that matched or beat Intel's more expensive CPUs. Since then, both companies have traded blows, but Ryzen 3 is expected to be another pot stirrer when it comes to cores across the board and faster clock speeds. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're excited about the upcoming updates, patches, and new content for many, many games down the line. And I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.